Advocates for Africa's Children started in 2006. And our vision, our driving vision for the organization is to empower the African church to care for orphans where they are and to fight the HIV/AIDS pandemic here in Africa. We first started with trying to do orphanages with maybe some income generation on the side, and found that wasn't really going to work. And the more I listened to my African brothers and sisters, the more I heard, no, we want to do this ourselves. We want to be able to solve our own issues. And then I began to see my role as, well, I want to help my brothers and sisters solve their own issues. So in order to do that, we're going into a village and not saying that this is how you need to solve your problems, but saying, what is it you need to help the orphan children? What is it you need to start talking about HIV and AIDS in your village? What is it you need to bring yourselves out of poverty? And we start there.
As we are talking here, we are talking about 4 children in this family here who are not going to school. It is our desire that next year they should be sent back to school. There is nothing much that we can say about the husband and wife here. They are very, very sick people. Their health condition is deteriorating every day. They are really struggling to earn a living. For this reason, we find ourselves praying in tears that God would help us in such a situation. So this is a family of 7 children. They are all by themselves. There are no parents. It's a child-headed family. The girl who is not here, actually this young man comes after her. She has been doing Form 2, but the heart situation has compelled her to drop out of school and go and look for job opportunities so that these young ones may continue with their education and they may eventually have something to eat. My role as the oldest boy in this family is to go from homestead to homestead asking for food or for soaps or anything that the children need. I feel very, very bad about this situation because sometimes when I go from homestead to homestead asking for food, they tell me that there is nothing, and I feel so embarrassed coming back to the children, tell them that there is nothing. We sometimes go to bed hungry. I just imagine when I'm on my table with my family and we are enjoying meal. Whenever I think of these children, I feel like crying because they do not have that opportunity to sit around the table with their parents, let alone eating.
We wanted to empower the church to not be dependent on outside help, but to be able to provide for the orphans themselves. And so our projects are done through the church. And the idea is that they will not, in the long term, be dependent on anyone. I have every confidence that if the caregivers are empowered economically, if they are able to provide for their own families, they will also provide for the children that are entrusted to their care, because that is the African way.
The overall goal of the project is to develop sustainable, viable, community-based business models, which are scalable to benefit disadvantaged people in the community. The underlying factor is it has to be sustainable. It has to be market-driven. You can pour in, you cannot throw money at a problem and think you'll solve it. It doesn't work like that. So the whole thing has to be sustainable, has to be market-driven. There has to be a market which demands the product. And the product has to be produced or manufactured. The chickens have to be raised in the most viable way, which makes business sense. And the whole project should be scalable so that it can grow, and benefit from economies of scale and be able to benefit more people.
Ka sosiyesawule ni pfunekile kusukela ni rima. Loko ni kuma mali a ni yisa vatsongwana xikola. Se ni tipfuna ku ni xava swakudya ni sabanga. Akhambileli no tshovela a 2030 isinko ni suse a 52. Amatshamelo ya mina hi tlhelo ya lideya ni vona ku hluvuka hikusa a nkarhi lowu wa hi xaniseka manje swoswi se hi hluvukile hikusa ha swi kota ku xin'wana xi kumela kusuhani ku ya pfuneka hi phurojeke leyi.
In Bowane, we work with 10 families at this particular site. And these families, each of them, they are doing broilers. They are raising broilers, which is poultry for meat. How we do the program as Africa Works, we finance these people with finance for the infrastructure to build the chicken house, and then finance for the inputs to raise the chickens during the growing production period of 35 days. And then after 35 days, they put the chicken house in quarantine for 15 days before they start another cycle.
I have a lot of hope for the next generation if we are able to do everything that we believe God has put on our hearts to do. The children that we talk to who have been helped through the projects that we have started with the local church, they want to be nurses, they want to be teachers, because they want to help their community the same way that they've been helped. They see sick people in their villages and they want to become nurses so they can help the sick people. They want to be teachers because they realize the value of education and they want to pour themselves into other orphan children who have not had what they have had. And there's just so much hope in that. I'm just amazed at how the children want to give back. They don't want to just take, they don't want to just receive, but they want to give back to their communities. And there's a lot of hope. At the same time, if we do not invest in these young folks, it's a life of desolation and more poverty and more suffering. So I choose not to look at that, but look at the possibilities, because they're so plentiful and it's so hopeful.
A hope for the future and freedom from shame, and joy in the laughter that is heard once again. A hope for the future and all it will bring is seen through the eyes of a king. It's hard for me to grasp